Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Monday, June 21st, 2010. It's the first day of summer. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the U.S., 4:30 p.m. in London. Down in Hamilton, it's 12:30 p.m. and in Mexico City, 10:30 in the morning. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. Prince William of England is 28 years old today. We also have another story. The first hurricane of the 2010 Pacific season formed in the eastern Pacific near Mexico last night, but it's heading away from land. That would be Hurricane Celia with a C. It's a Category 1 storm with winds of up to 80 miles per hour. It's 370 miles south of Acapulco, and it's moving toward the west. It's unlikely that it's going to hit any land so long as it keeps on this course. We'll go to our main stories then for Monday. There was a big tornado went through Billings, Montana yesterday afternoon at about 5 p.m. The destructive storm was accompanied by golf ball-sized hail. The tornado was caused due to a severe thunderstorm, according to the local weather service. No injuries have been reported, but there was a massive major power blackout in the Billings area. There were downed telephone poles and electrical poles. Witnesses said the tornado lingered over the Rimrock Auto Arena for 15 minutes and ripped apart the roof. The tornado also removed the roof of an auto repair glass shop and left the building with only walls. The roof was found in a nearby creek. The storm was also followed by golf ball-sized hail in the Billings area. Hanging power lines and strewn debris are all over the area, and the 10,000-seat sports arena looks completely devastated with the roof ripped off. A state trooper who witnessed the tornado said that it touched down and went up several times. It continued to shake the roof up and down. He added that authorities were concerned about damage to a nearby shopping mall. The auto arena that faced the brunt of the tornado hosted rodeos, monster truck shows, concerts, and even high school graduations. It's a miracle that there have been no injuries. Well, Mr. Buffett seems to have made his move. He's going to set up a wholly owned subsidiary in India that will acquire a corporate agency license to sell motor insurance. They're buying the license from Bajaj Allianz. This is according to today's Economic Times. The new operation will sell motor insurance online. He's going to begin with an investment of about $11 million US to establish a support structure, including a call center. His unusual strategy, which operates in comparison to Berkshire Hathaway, which operates as a direct insurer in the US by Geico, seems to have been the brainchild of Ajit Jain, who travels frequently to India. In India, foreign direct investment in insurance, reinsurance, and even insurance broking is limited to a 26% stake, but a corporate agency can be 100% foreign owned. Downside is that each individual in a corporate agency has to undergo training, and the agency is tied to the products of a single company. Of course, it's not underwriting its own business, but it profits instead from the placement commissions. And the company that they're going to use for the underwriting, just to be clear on that, is Bajaj Allianz. They're the ones who are going to be taking the risk. So Mr. Buffett is in India. There's news that the so-called stalker company Apollo may be making a revised bid for Brit early this week. This is according to the Independent newspaper on Sunday yesterday in London. Analysts have said that Brit is unlikely to accept offers below their book value, which is about £11 a share. Shares in the insurer closed last week at about £9.25. Brit shareholders have indicated that they want management to talk directly to Apollo. Well, British Petroleum had a bit of a rocky weekend. The CEO, Tony Hayward, was nowhere to be found in the U.S. He was in a sailing race off the southeast coast of England near the Isle of Wight. Tom Bailey of CATEX was in the same race and reported that actually when Mr. Hayward's yacht went by groups of onlookers, he was cheered. The news from BP is that they've spent $2 billion so far fighting the Gulf spill and in compensation paid out. They paid out $105 million in claims to 32,000 claimants. This obviously does not include the $20 billion fund that BP set up last week. Also, the Kenneth Feinberg, who's the special master who's going to be in charge of doling out the $20 billion, said, "Don't underestimate the frustration and anger of people in the Gulf uncertain of their financial futures." Feinberg said he's determined to speed up payment of claims. BP has also said they're beginning to fire back at Anadarko that its partners in the oil well project must share in responsibility for the disaster costs. BP owned 65% of the well, Anadarko Petroleum had 25%, and a subsidiary of Mitsui had 10%. As we've reported here, Anadarko has said that the joint operating agreement made BP responsible for any damage due to gross negligence. BP shot back this morning that all the partners shared in liability for oil spill damages. A little update as to the two relief wells. They're still on track. You have to take note, though, that those drills have to hit a target about the size of a salad plate, about 3 miles below the water surface. So that means a mile of water and then 3 miles of ocean floor. As much as 125 million gallons of oil have already spilled into the Gulf of Mexico. Stock market is up about 100 points right now, largely due to the news on China's currency, which we'll report right after the break.
Design for peace.
Well, yesterday China made good on their statements. I wouldn't call them pledges, that they were finally going to address the valuation of the yuan vis-a-vis the dollar, and they began to allow it to appreciate. By late today, Beijing time, the yuan was trading at about 6.80 to the dollar in the spot market. This is up a little bit from 6.82 on Friday. The central bank has given up the dollar peg imposed 2 years ago to help China exporters cope with the global downturn. For 2 years, China has kept the yuan trading at a much narrower band of about 6.83 to a dollar. So it's up a little bit, a very tiny amount actually. Analysts said the move was mainly aimed at countering criticism of Beijing's current currency policies ahead of this weekend's summit of the group of 20 leading economies. That's going to be in Toronto. They haven't given up entirely, though. The yuan is still subject to a 0.5% daily trading range, so that limits volatility. An analyst in Hong Kong said the yuan will gain very soon, but definitely not much. It was more of a strategic maneuver to silence outside criticism. They also did it for their own reasons. They needed to help fight inflation on the home front. China's economy grew about 12% in the first quarter this year,